Welcome to the channel, and a little bit of an update to this car doesn't exist thing. It actually does now, but it most certainly wasn't an easy task, and it definitely cost a lot more money than would be expected just to have an ownership transferred from one owner of a vehicle to another. When we bought this car, there was no ownership, and the original owner was actually in a nursing home at the time, and we were unable to get an ownership from his siblings who were clearing his estate and actually sold the car. We got the car out. The car actually had license plates on the car that we figured was going to make it a pretty easy task to get registered, and the granddaughter of the original owner actually wanted the plates and said she would pursue trying to get an ownership for it, which she did actually. So she paid a $12 fee to run a search on the license plate, which proved no results. And then she had to buy the vehicle package based on the VIN that was, or serial number actually, that was on the driver's door. That also brought back no results. I went into it looking for it. I paid a $12 fee. It took the ministry a whole minute to take my $12 and then tell me there was no results. That was a quick $12. And then they mentioned about getting the vehicle package as well. I didn't go that route, but I did contact the police because I thought maybe the police would at least be able to find something with the car. They said they couldn't help me. I needed to go through the ministry. The ministry was finding nothing, and they claimed that the serial number was no good. Of course, in '63, this car was in the middle of the trade wars between Canada and U.S., and Canada had separated the way that they put the VIN numbers on cars and made them serial numbers, which were tags on the doors, versus being a VIN tag that was actually on the top of the firewall or the cowl like the U.S. cars were doing. Anyways, this car was registered with plates for 15 years on the road from 1963 to 1978. The original owner paid annual fees on those plates. So you really would have thought that, it wouldn't have been that hard to find the car. This is not a Ford thing, though. This is where Ford is actually off the hook. This one comes back, and it's not a free trade problem either. In 1978 or 1980, or maybe through that period, the Canadian Bureau transferred all the paperwork to database. And, the competence of government workers, they lost an incredible number of cars. As a matter of fact, I was told it could have been up to 30 years worth of cars missing. So anyways, this is how we got to the root of it. This car has the serial number on the driver's door tag, which I'll show you. This car has a tag on the firewall with the same numbers on it as well. And after we got the frame sandblasted from the car, there is also the same serial number on the frame. So this was definitely the number that this car was originally identified by, and yet the number was no good. We got an auto appraiser onto it, and he said it took 3 hours roughly to find the car. The 6 digits that's in our serial number is definitely the sequential number, and he said he only found it by going into the Ford Canada archives. But he was able to actually locate that the car did exist from the production of Ford Canada. So $250 in order to get the appraisal. The owner's son had provided us with a receipt. I did go into the ministry and try to register the car with the receipt he provided me with, and they told me that it absolutely couldn't be done, that we would have to actually go in front of a notary or a justice of the peace and swear on the declaration of the existence of this car. They wanted to know where the car was bought. They wanted to know when the car was parked. They wanted to know when the car was last plated. Like, this is all information that should have been available by all means. But anyways, I got to give a huge shout out to the son of the original owner, because he took the day off of work on the Friday and drove 2.5 hours down here from up north to meet up with me. And then the two of us went to the license bureau and actually got the car notarized. And even more importantly, we have an ownership for the car. So I guess what I'm going to complain about is the fact that the incompetence of our government workers once more. This cost almost $500 to get this car registered. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. It usually costs in the neighborhood of about $60, and you leave with a set of plates. Well, maybe not today. It might be $120. But I can't say I'm impressed about this, because it was just a bunch of money thrown away, and it certainly was no fault of ours. It was certainly no fault of anybody who was involved in buying this car and whatever. But car is registered. That's a win for us. Of course, it actually says pass unfit on the ownership. So we will be paying the ministry again to get a fit ownership after the car's been safetied, of course. But the car's in our name, and which is a good thing, because the car's completely disassembled at this point. And boy, oh boy, to find out that we're not going to be able to own the car, and the car's in this condition, somebody's going to have to bring a few trucks to pick up the car. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time around.